Hi folks, how you doing? This is Iqbal with NVIDIA analysis and prediction. NVIDIA had a very good earnings report last week, but the stock is still falling. In this video, I will share with you some data analysis to predict how NVIDIA can move this week. And also, I will discuss some good buying and selling points for this week, and that might be helpful for you guys. Now, let's get started. So, as you can notice, just after the earnings, Nvidia surged to 199 after hours. But the next day, you see lots of volatility. Nvidia went down to about 173 or 174. Then, after that, it jumped back again to 184. So this volatility tells that there is no clear direction on Nvidia at this point. In fact, the whole AI market is under pressure because some of the investors think that the overall AI sector is overpriced. I'll give you my opinion in this video, what I feel and what might happen this week. Let's take a look forward P, the first data point. So Nvidia forward P at this point is at 34.27 at the Friday closing. But if you take a look average for last 4 weeks, you see the average is 36.77. So compared with the last 4 weeks or last 1 month, Nvidia still is underpriced. But if you go further in the past, June 14, 2024, and if you take a look average, min and the maximum forward P by week, you will get these numbers. The min value for the forward P is 30.04, the max is 47.88, and the average is 38.83. I consider last 15 months of data. So considering the last 15 months of data, the forward P at 34.27 is still below the average, right? So in my opinion, Nvidia is underpriced at this point based on the forward PE. But if the selling pressure continues on Nvidia, then the lowest point Nvidia can touch is equivalent to the forward P of 30.04. So if I do my math, that will translate to $156 for Nvidia stock price. So in other words, if Nvidia continues to fall because of the selling pressure, I don't think Nvidia can go below 156. That's a minimum point in the worst case scenario. And if it happens, then 156 or 157 would be an excellent buy for Nvidia. I'm not saying that Nvidia would go to that level, but if it does, then that will be a very good buy point. And another thing you should appreciate that Nvidia did not go above 214 level that I predicted few months ago. And I still think that 214 is a very good max level for Nvidia for next few weeks, but I will do my revised calculation for the min max level based on the latest earnings number that we just saw last week. So give me some time, probably sometime end of next week, I will come up with a new min max level and that would be valid for next 3 months. And another data point we can take a look is the data center revenue. I put together the data center revenue for NVIDIA starting from 16th November earnings call. At that point, the data center revenue was 3.83 billion. And in the latest earnings report, NVIDIA data center revenue went up to 51.2 billion. And also I did the calculation for the percentage increase quarter over quarter. So from last quarter to this quarter, that's 24.57% increase in the data center revenue. So the reason why we should focus on the data center revenue because For the AI companies, the data center revenue is the very critical variable that the big investor, the market overall, pays a very close attention. So any surprise in the data center revenue would impact Nvidia price big time. So based on the data center revenue at this point, the equivalent Nvidia price is 209. So this also tells that Nvidia is underpriced at this point. And now let's take a look at some economic data. On Thursday, November 20th, we had US unemployment rate and the US employment report data. So unemployment rate you see went up 4.4% versus the forecast of 4.3%. But the good thing is the non-farm payroll, also employment report numbers went up. So new jobs created in the non-farm sector is 119K versus 50,000. So this is a mixed data. Unemployment report says that the labor market is weakening, but a new jobs creation happened in September, telling you a different story. So we cannot trust overall this data. We need more employment data, probably for October as well. So as you know that this report was for September, that was 2 months delay. And this makes a Fed job very challenging when they will meet next month for the rate cut decision. And also on Tuesday this week, we're going to have a PPI data, the producer price index, and that would give some idea about the producer pricing change month over month. The expectation is 0.3%. So if it comes higher than 0.3%, then probably market would react negatively. And now let's take a look technical charts. On your screen, you see 90-day hourly interval chart and also the Fibonacci levels. At this point, Nvidia is trading around 180. As you see that on Friday, Nvidia went down to below 175, but it could not sustain below 175. So that tells this is a very strong support. I also mentioned in my previous video that 175 is a very good support level, and that also makes a good buy point for Nvidia. But for some reason, if Nvidia gains more negative momentum and Nvidia goes down to 175 and continues to stay there, then after that is 164 a very strong support level. And that also makes Nvidia a very good buy. On the upper side, uh, 188 in my opinion is a good resistance level, and after that is 193, and after that is 201. So if Nvidia gains some positive momentum this week, then we'll have to see if Nvidia can break 193 this week or not. If it does, then probably it can go further up and try to test 201 level. And if you take a look RSI at this point in 90-day hourly interval chart is at 46.99. That's neither oversold nor overbought at this point. So Nvidia can go in either direction this week based on RSI. Now let's take a look MACD. So in the MACD, you see that the blue line is in the negative region below the zero level. So that tells that, NVIDIA is still under pressure and the negative momentum is still with NVIDIA. But the good thing is, sometime early on Friday, you see that NVIDIA had more negative momentum, about negative 3.0. So after that, NVIDIA tried to gain some positive momentum, but still it's in the negative region. So on Monday, based on MACD, Nvidia could still be under pressure or should show some volatility as well. Now let's take a look another indicator, that is Bollinger Bands. So as you see that on early Friday, the gap between the upper band and the lower band was very high, but sometime in the afternoon it started going down. At this point, the gap between the upper band and lower band is not much. In my opinion, that's a good sign that tells that Nvidia might behave range bound on Monday and also on Tuesday as well. I mean, you might see less volatility on Nvidia on Monday versus what we saw on Friday. So that's what I see from Bollinger Bands. So that's all about my analysis and prediction for this week. And if I talk about my trading, I did some buy for Nvidia around 181 on Friday. And I plan to buy more Nvidia if Nvidia goes down below 174 level. I hope you like the video. Thank you so much for watching. Talk to you more in the next video. Take care.